Hello and welcome to the season finale of Intentional Excellence. This is the last episode for year 2024, and I'm your host, Candice Ruggiero. I'm a keynote speaker, podcast and live show host, educator, former school owner, and entrepreneur. This podcast is all about sharing inspiring stories, practical strategies, and powerful conversations to help you embrace growth, overcome challenges, and step into the excellence you're meant for. So, whether you're seeking personal growth, professional success, or resilience in the face of adversity, Intentional Excellence Podcast is here to remind you that your story matters and you have the power to create a life of purpose and impact. Today, I am thrilled to introduce an incredible guest whose journey truly exemplifies intentional excellence. Her name is Maggie. Can you please pronounce it for me? Maggie Ciechoski?
Ciechoski, close
All
enough.
right, thank you. So, Maggie is a luxury real estate agent. She specializes in high end homes, but she's not limited to the elite market. She loves working with anyone who brings integrity and good energy. Before stepping into real estate, Maggie earned a master's degree in social work and worked as a full time therapist. She later became a personal trainer and high performance mindset coach, helping others unlock their potential before finally finding her passion in real estate last year. Maggie's journey hasn't been without challenges. She faced significant struggles, including depression, anxiety, and an eating disorder. She turned to drugs and alcohol to cope, but through sheer resilience, she overcame the odds stacked against her. And today, Maggie has built a six-figure business, is married to the man of her dreams, and is living a life full of purpose. Her story is a testament to perseverance and growth. I'm just so happy to have her. My viewers, we have Maggie. Maggie, please tell me your last name. Chikaus.
It's easier if you don't look at it when you say it. So, Ciechoski.
Okay, Chahowski. All right. I'm sorry if I butchered it, but thank you. Maggie, is there anything else that you would like to add that I failed to mention while introducing you?
I don't think so. That is so Candice, your podcast, the way that you speak, the way that you speak about people, the way that you share. I love all of it, and I'm just so honored to be here. Nothing else to add. I'm just excited to jump in and chat about everything that comes up.
I just want you to know that I already know in my heart that this is going to be an inspiring podcast. I could feel it. Like I have a very strong emotional intelligence, and I know when the guest in front of me has powerful story to share with others. And I'm really excited to have you. Thank you for accepting my invite, Maggie.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for having me. This is so exciting. I think our hearts are just bursting.
I know,
Let's
me
just
too.
jump in.
Yes, all right. So the first set of questions is going to be about struggles to success. And Maggie, your story is really so inspiring. And you've been through a lot, from growing up in a simple life to facing depression, anxiety, and even like an eating disorder. And I can only imagine how hard that must have been. And yet, here you are, thriving and making an incredible impact. Maggie, your story reminds me of my own struggles. Last year, Labor Day of 2023, I lost my husband. Um, it was a turning point in my life, emotionally and financially. I had to redefine my identity. Like, I had to take on roles of a sole parent, a decision maker, and single provider. It was overwhelming,
Yeah.
but those struggles forced me to find my path, a path where now I'm building a life that I'm proud of. And over the last 6 months, Maggie, I've been working on creating a vision for myself
Yeah.
as a keynote speaker, podcast host, writer, and an entrepreneur. But I know I'm on the right track, still in progress, but I know on the right track because like I'm being my best self. And I know that when you are being authentic and being genuine, then you know what? Your path is laid out for you in like the right time and the right way. Maggie, can you share how those early experiences shaped the person you are today and influenced your journey to success?
Yeah, absolutely. The way that I grew up and where I grew up, I come from a very, I think simple is a good word for it. I grew up pretty poor in a single parent household. And the biggest lessons that I've learned along the way, especially from having a pretty tough childhood, a very anxiety riddled teenage era, and even into college, one of the things that really always stood out and stood, with me is this idea that I don't want anything handed to me because nothing has ever been handed to me. And that mindset, it needs to be instilled in you. I mean, it's just something that we can't, you can't give that to somebody. It just needs to happen. So I had to fight for everything that I've ever wanted. And I'm so grateful for that because that has carried with me throughout my adult life. And now I love a good fight. I love a good challenge. And I think that idea of, a lot of people, they get scared thinking about
Yes.
overcoming adversity when really it's the greatest gift
Yeah.
because once you start to understand how it can push you and where it can lead you, doors open up that probably would have never opened up otherwise.
Honestly, I agree with you because most of the guests that I've interviewed and most of the people I've been meeting who are successful in life have gone through adversity.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anyone who does not encounter any challenge in their life.
Yep.
But it's how you view and how you move past it.
Yes.
And I really truly believe that these trials, challenges, and defeats are what will make you stronger. Like, how are you going to change if you have a perfect life? Think about it, Maggie.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and not only that, but if you're used to getting
Your way.
everything, if it's just kind of handed to you, or this idea of everybody gets a trophy and everybody's a winner, like when you maintain that mindset, or and that's how you learn, that's how you grow up, then you get
Right.
thrown into the real world and
Yes.
it's a slap in the face, like, oh, I need to fight, I need to work hard for what I want. And when you've already been through that, it just is second nature. It's just something that you carry with you instead of having to learn the hard way, which I'm just so grateful for having those experiences because becoming an adult was just kind of like a natural, progression. Like,
Right.
okay, this is what we're doing now. This is where we're going from here.
I just also wanted to share with you. So I originally from the Philippines, born in the Philippines, family, seven kids. All right. My parents were pretty well off. They're like lawyers. They own their own practice. But I have four sisters of us. Right. I must admit that I have some sisters who everything was given to them. Okay, like branded everything, like
Yep.
everything paid for. I don't know, it's just me. I like earning
Yep.
my own things. I remember paying for my own driving test, for my
Yep.
driving practice. I traveled on my own based on my own money. It's just that I don't know. I think growing up, I didn't want to rely on anyone. I think that's part of me. And talking about mindset, you talked about mindset. There are two kinds of mindset: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. You definitely have a growth mindset. Definitely
Yeah.
go have that growth mindset. And with all the things that you've went through, this only explains why you are where you're at right now is because of that growth mindset, and you're just open to all the changes in your life. And I salute you. Wonderful, like really wonderful journey.
Oh,
Wonderful journey.
thank you. I appreciate that. And I do think it's worth mentioning. So I've read so much about fixed versus growth mindset. And I think you're right. I mean, I'm definitely at that point now where everything is an opportunity, everything is a
Yes.
lesson that we can learn from. But I definitely did not always feel that way. There was there was a big chunk of my life, from being a child through teenager through even my undergrad experience where I was a perfectionist, so I was always making sure that I got good grades and I was a people pleaser, so I wanted to keep everybody happy and
Okay.
on paper it looked good, but in my mind, I mean, I had zero confidence. I did not believe in myself at all. So I definitely spent a lot of time in that fixed mindset of you're never going to do anything, you're not going to get past this point. And I've worked with so many women and clients now that are in that same kind of space, and it breaks my heart.
Yes.
But it can change. You can
Yes.
absolutely change it. How powerful that you can feel one way for most of your life, and then you can wake up one morning and say, you know what? I'm choosing not to be like this anymore. And
Yes.
you just
Yes.
woof, woof, like what?
I mean, take it from two women. I mean, look at these two women in front of you right now. Two women who struggled, two women who overcame challenges. I told you, like, for the past year, I saw myself grow as a person,
Yeah.
as a speaker, as a just person, like being a good person inside out, and just being mindful of what I want in life, like really, like I'm planning my life. I'm not getting any younger. I'm that at that age we're in. I'm at the last few phases of life, so I want to make sure it's the best. I want to make sure it's the best, you know what I mean? No more so no more negativity, all positive path moving forward for me.
Wow. And that's, oh, it's so inspiring, Candace, because
Yes.
I really, I'm sure people say this all the time, but I cannot imagine what it felt like to lose your husband. I mean, that's like I can't imagine it. And most people, I think they that something happens like this. I mean, this major life change that was not expected, and most people have a hard time coping and using that to transform instead of just completely falling
Falling
apart.
apart.
I mean, and you could have absolutely fallen into that, and instead it's morphed. I mean, you've used this to fuel this purpose and this passion of yours, and it's just you can see that in everything that you do. And I just like that gives me chills thinking about it because it could have gone the complete opposite way. And nobody would have faulted you for that either because that's how most
But
people.
life.
Yeah, this is just it's so incredible when you talk
Thank
about
you.
like the adversity and the resilience and the just the true passion to still want to not only change your life but change others' lives, which is why
Yes.
you're doing what you're doing. I just
Oh, you
amazing.
don't, you don't know what my goal is in life, really, to make an impact. Give me a year or two, I'm gonna change the world. I'm
Yes.
gonna change the world. Like I just see so many negativity, and just like, like feelings of poor self-worth, poor self-concept, and I want to change that. I want people to know that if you have a positive, like if you have that authenticity, that self-love,
Yeah.
you can absolutely change your life.
Oh yes.
And the feeling is just so amazing. Like I don't think you can give me a problem right now that will crush me. I feel like I'm at the point right now wherein I whatever challenge I meet head on. Fix
I
it. You know what I
believe
mean?
that. I know it.
What? There's no reason crying. I mean, it is in front of you, so deal with it. That's
Yeah.
my motto in life now. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if everybody on this planet could adopt that same mindset? How different the world would look if everyone took a challenge or took adversity or just used that same type of mindset. I mean, this is life-changing stuff and we hear about it all the time, but there's nothing except
An
some.
example, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, you just.
you're here too,
Yep.
so you're one of them.
That's true, and I could have just as easily had been a statistic. I mean, based on where I grew up and who I grew up around,
I'm so
uh,
proud
f-
of you.
fall. Thank you, but it could have been so different. I mean, I could have fallen into just being a lifelong alcoholic or drug user, or be in jail or end up dead. I mean, all these things, but nothing. I really think you can listen to all the motivational stuff. You can watch video after video on TikTok or wherever. But unless that inner light bulb goes off, it's not
Yes.
like you don't have to believe that you can change the world right now, but you have to
You
believe
have
you
you
can at
have like
least
a
take the
like
step.
Yes. And you know, because like, if you do have your, I believe in intentional, being intentional with where
Yes.
you want to be in your life at a certain time. If my goal is set in a year that this is what I want to do and that's what I want to have an impact, then I know that everything that I do, Maggie, is going to be geared towards that purpose.
Yes.
And I also wanted to share with you that when you're a keynote speaker, oh, you it's conference, it's convention.
Yep.
I do that, but at the same time, I feel that that's only going to impact a group of people, 200, 300, the most 800. I want the world to hear me.
Right.
I want more people to know me, not because of being famous, but because I just want to share. If I can put a smile on someone's face right now, I did my job. And can I just share with you? I'm sorry, I'm oversharing too
Oh, I
much.
love it. No, no, please, please, go, go, go.
I started a live show that is streamed every week. I just started last week on 5 social media platform. It's called Candice Ruggiero Love Speaks. And you know what I talk about?
But
Love for yourself, love for others, and global compassion. I don't care if like, oh, look at her talking about love. No, no, these
just do
are the
it.
things that people like laugh about, but it's really like, do you have love in yourself? Do you
Right.
love yourself? Do you love your neighbors? You know what I mean? So that, yeah. So I just started that, and I am proud every week. I'm in front of the
Oh,
camera, just teaching people how to find their self worth, self respect, because those are the things you fail to look for or fail to like develop, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We're so good at giving love to everybody else and just completely putting ourselves on the back burner.
Yes.
And you can only that I mean that can only last for so long before it completely, you completely burn out and just have this crash and burn and
Yes.
you get to a pivotal point and maybe it happens over and over again. I've had plenty multiple forks in the road where I could have gone towards love or I could have gone towards grief, depression, whatever. And plenty of times I still chose the negative
Yes.
route, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you fell on your face or felt a certain way before. There's always the opportunity. And I think we could talk about that all day long. We're on the same wavelength
We
there
are on
for
the
sure.
Yeah, we are on the same mindset, same wavelength. And I'm definitely, like I told you, I think this is gonna be a 2 hour podcast because I am enjoying every conversation we're having, and I don't mind. All right. So let's talk about transitioning careers, because like when
Mhm.
I introduced you there, you did transition from like here and here, like total like
Yeah.
extremes. So you've had such a diverse career path. It's really fascinating, like from being a therapist to a mindset coach and a personal trainer, and now excelling in real estate. And each step seems to have added something unique to your journey. So, my question for you is, how did those career transitions that you went through, prepare you for what you're doing now? And what lessons did you carry with you into real estate?
Yep, absolutely. So I'll start with the first part. How did the transitions help to get me, where I am now? And there's yes, I so after my okay, so after undergrad, let's go back a little bit. So after I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I just did not want to get a real job. I hated the idea of sitting at a desk, and pretty impulsively, I applied to go teach English in Thailand. So I I graduated on April 30th, 2012, and that next day I was on a plane for the first
Wait,
time
how
ever
long did you stay there? How long?
in Thailand,
Yeah, to
about
teach.
almost a year. And I mean, so had no intention or no, I never wanted to be a teacher. That was never on my list. But I knew I didn't want a real job, and I knew I wanted to travel. So just just went for it. Just moved to Thailand. I had a sorority sister that also went with me, and it was an amazing experience. I ended up getting pretty sick. I got dengue fever and was in the hospital for a week. Like that was a scary experience. But
Yes.
so there was that first experience, I guess, real adult experience of truly being able to help others, not just the students that I was teaching, but the people that I was meeting in the town where we lived and all the islands that we were visiting. So I think that really was the catalyst for I don't care what it is that I do in life. I just know that I want to help people and I want to love where I am. Because, and I think you understand this too. I spent so much of my life hating where I was. I mean, dreary growing up in Pennsylvania. I mean, yes, it can be beautiful, but it can also be so gray,
Sadness.
literally and figuratively. Yeah. So I just wanted to help people and love where I was. So did the whole teaching thing, came home, still didn't want to get a real job. That's when I actually joined the Army National Guard, worked full time.
Oh, and I didn't even mention that in her bio. So listen to this.
So again, another very impulsive move. I mean, I just didn't want to get a real job, so I'm like, okay, let me go apply and talk to a recruiter for the Army. And just to show where my confidence was at that time, I didn't think that I'd be able to do active duty Army. I didn't think that I'd be able to do it full blast 100%. So I was like, okay, I'll join the National Guard. You got your one weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer. I was very out of shape, couldn't do a push up, but I learned. I mean, went to
Okay.
like going to basic training was a whole different level of building confidence and building everything up. Um, so I did. I was a medic while I was in the National Guard, so I loved it while I was in there. Also knew I didn't want to do that in the real world, but again, I was able to help people. So
Yeah.
did that. And then once I went to grad school and became a social worker and started doing therapy, that was the first time that my eyes were really open to the understanding that the way that the therapy system works in America is ultimately broken. I mean, in my mind, there's not enough real connection with
Yes.
patients. I
Yes.
I worked for the VA hospital, so it was, working for the government and working with veterans and it was great. Like we would have these great conversations in our therapy sessions and then it was like, okay, see you next week
Yes.
and then what? A million things happen between one session to the next. But again, that really unleashed this fire.
Drive.
Yep, to really not only help but listen to people and then take their problems and find the solution and make things better. So that directly applies to real estate because even though real estate is, basically a sales job, I mean it is sales, if you can't connect with people and you
Mm-hmm.
can't listen to them and find solutions for their problems, you're probably not going to get anywhere, which it can be draining. It's just you're taking on other people's problems to, to help them sell their home or buy their new home or whatever it might be. But anyway, so all of that to say, I mean, all of these career transitions, they really helped me learn what I didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Try this, don't do this, move on. But it also just taught me that whatever we choose to do, as long as you go 100%, you dive into it, you're gonna figure it out. There might be bumps. There have been so many bumps in my journey so far in real estate, but again, I'm grateful for them because without the bumps, we don't learn. And I am absolutely that person that needs to learn the hard way. I need to be
Right.
knocked around a little bit to really open my eyes to the idea of okay, this didn't work. How do we make it better? Does that answer the question?
Yeah, which is like that growth mindset. Well, I
Yeah.
need to reflect on everything that you said. Whatever intentions you had in having those multiple roles that you played, first of all, you were young. And yeah, even if your intentions was I didn't want to get a real job or something like that, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Those are not easy. What you went through, Thailand, we know that. Like people don't know this. Yes, there's diversity in the United States. There's
Right.
people from all, nationalities, but actually living to another third world country, because I'm from the Philippines. You'll never know. You can never say I've experienced life
Right.
without actually living it.
Yep.
New culture, new food. You had to really communicate and like work with people with different personalities and language. That's not easy. That's not easy. And there are always the good part of Thailand, which is like the vacation spot, but there are also the everyday rural areas. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
wherever we go, even in the United States, there's this part.
Yep.
So it's like, it's not easy. What you went through, I'm just amazed. Whatever intentions you had, that's not easy. And being a teacher there as well, you've
Yeah.
helped them. They are so countries like Asia are aching to learn English.
I
They
know.
will do anything to learn English. And you
Yeah.
being there, I'm sure made an impact to those people, to those students. And second, let me also reflect on when you talked about when you became a therapist.
Yep.
Exactly what you said. Those therapists, I have nothing against them. I salute them. They
Yep.
may have doctorate's degree. They may have master's degree. My
Yeah.
question is, have they really experienced real life, real situations, real problems, and real solutions?
Right.
That's why, like this, what we're doing is even like another form of therapy, because
For
I have
sure.
continuous podcasts and I'm
Yep.
dealing with different. I deal with resilience. I deal with authenticity, adversity. Like, what more can people ask for? This is genuine people sharing their lives,
Yep.
and I'm just glad that people will have an avenue or a space wherein they can simply listen to
Yep.
stories, women sharing stories, or women sharing stories, and for
Yep.
free, for
Yeah.
free. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And I do think there's so much power in, like you said, listening to
Mhm.
other people's stories. And social media is so powerful. If you
Yes.
open TikTok and you go down the rabbit hole of the empowerment, the mindset, all of these people, I mean, you can listen for days and
Yes.
days and never get tired of listening to new things. But it's all about finding the story, the narrative, the person that makes it click for you.
That
And
will resonate with you. Yeah.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
never know when it's going to happen. And a lot of times, people that are in therapy, they're focusing on their own problems. They're getting grilled on their past and the trauma, and that absolutely that can be helpful. And at the same time, doing like listening to stuff like this and just reminding yourself constantly that there is a different way. Your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is 100% your
Yes.
responsibility.
Yes.
Picking up all these little tidbits along the way, that absolutely saved my life. It wasn't therapy. I mean, I was in therapy, I tried it, I did it. I was even on, I mean, I was on prescription drugs like Prozac, and it was not the therapy that changed my life. It was the mentors and the guidance that really allowed it to stick. And here we are.
And this could be an hour-long podcast. A person can resonate with one thing that you said.
Yep.
This person can resonate with the addiction. This one can resonate with
Yep.
the adversity. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yep.
can really reach so many people.
Oh,
And especially you just shared so many things about you that I know that a lot of people will take away lessons from like whatever we're sharing right now.
yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
no, thank
I
you.
just love this moment. All right. So when I think about transitions like you, I remember being a school owner in the Philippines. So I owned two schools.
Oh,
And that experience really opened doors for me.
yeah.
So I've always been a hard worker. And what I did was so I had my school in 1992, wherein technology was just starting. And don't forget, that's a third world country, although I was
Yeah.
in a good part of the Philippines. So I integrated technology into my school. So parents could access updates online, view activities, and even see their children. Like I set up like a webcam, and they can actually log in from our web.
Innovative.
Oh,
Woo!
1992, okay?
Wow.
So, Maggie, I will never forget that day. I received a phone call from Primetime News live show in the Philippines, and they wanted to feature my school because of how I was using technology. So
Love it.
I was interviewed, and that interview really opened a lot of like possibilities for me. I was kind of one of the youngest school owners in that country, and it really brought more enrollments for me. So like the next year I was able to open another branch.
Oh,
So
wow.
I feel that really the power of innovation and hard work will
Yeah.
always, always pay off. Always pay off.
Wow. Oh, that's incredible, Candace. And it's no surprise. I mean, it's not surprising just knowing who you are and how you view life. I mean, of course that's what was going to happen. It was meant to be. There's no way that it couldn't have happened.
I
That
was 23 while women were partying, were like, the young professionals were like dating. No, I was running a school. I was the school driver. I was a teacher. Sometimes I would do the photocopying. I had to do multiple roles if,
right.
depends on the need. So, I think that's also one of the reason why I consider myself resilient because of all these hard work
Yep.
and because of all the skills that I had to do. Like nobody teaches you.
No.
There's no dictionary on how to open a business. It's really just
No.
your mind, your heart,
Yeah.
and your ability to learn new things that you're not used to.
Oh, for sure.
Those are the
That's
recipes in life,
You know,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And I think that tidbit right there, if there's a younger woman who's trying to figure out what to do with
What
her
to
life
do.
right now, this really drives me nuts. And I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and I wouldn't recommend either of those things to anybody because, like, you want to start a business, you want to change the world, you want to be an entrepreneur, think about how crazy it is. And
Yes.
again, no judgment. This is just
Yes.
personally,
Yes.
looking at it. If you go to business school, and you're paying a lot of money for business school, you're being taught business by people who are professional teachers.
Yes.
How many professors are entrepreneurs on their own who have opened and scaled their own business? You can find so much more for free through podcasts, social media, all these other places, and you could just go and do it. I mean, we're so
Yes.
blessed. We're so blessed to
I
have
know.
everything at our fingertips, and you can get so
Yes.
overwhelmed so easily. But once you start to really focus and you find a few people that resonate with you that you can learn from, I mean, I was raised in a family and in an area where nobody went to college.
Mhm.
You were just grateful to get some kind of job, either a factory worker, maybe a receptionist, but it was a job. You grew up to get a job, not to get a career, not to advance. I mean, I was pretty sure, the first person in my family
Wow.
to get a bachelor's degree, definitely the first one to get a master's. Like that wasn't taught. And even though I never really saw it, I still jumped into the entrepreneur world because I
Yes.
knew that I could figure it out one way or another. And that, I know that there's so many young people, young women
Who
especially,
wants to
that,
start? Yeah.
yeah, and they think that they can't or they don't know how. None of us know how. Most of
No.
us, most of us have no formal background in it. Our families don't do it. We're the first ones, in our generation to figure it out. Just go do it and fall flat on your face 100 times, 1,000 times until it sticks. And you're probably, I mean, I feel I'm probably
Better off.
always, yeah, absolutely. But I'm probably always going to be in the back of my mind thinking, I should be farther along, or I should be a little bit better, or whatever. Like there's always going to be the doubt. It doesn't matter. I'm still doing it. You're still doing it. You just like, wow, just go. Just run as fast as you can and don't worry about tripping.
I mean, think of me, Maggie. I've been in the field of education all my life, 30
Yeah.
years. Went for two masters thinking that my ultimate dream in America is to lead a school. So close. I'm so close. I could have been an assistant principal here in Florida this year, but I changed my life like completely. And at my age right now, I could say that it's late, but it's not too late.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anything is too late.
Nope.
So, wherever you are at wherever point you are in your life, if you wake up one day and say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, all
Yeah.
you need to do is just start.
Yeah.
Start. There are resources, just like what Maggie said, resources available to you in the internet. YouTube has wonderful resources,
Oh yeah.
TikTok, everyday experiences, and podcasts like this.
Yep.
Just start.
Yeah.
Just start. Don't
Yep.
procrastinate. Don't procrastinate. Like I said, I've only started this journey 6 months ago in July. And I feel like like I said, I'm starting a season 2 already of Intentional Podcast.
Yeah.
I have live shows, and I'm launching something next week because it's January. So what I mean, it's endless. Possibilities are endless
Yeah.
if you are open to it. If you are
Yeah.
open to it, that's what I believe in.
Yeah, for
You know.
sure. And okay, so the last thing I'll say about that, because I also, so not only did I really break away from my hometown and family norm of, you grow up and you get a job and you spend your life working for somebody else. That was a whole, mindset shift in of itself. But also, I have jumped once I left social work and I decided that I was going to never work for somebody again.
Mm-hmm.
I started a whole bunch of different businesses, and I know people thought I was crazy. I know that they were watching me and thinking, "What are you doing?" or "Why are
Yes.
you, these things seem so unrelated." But you have to be willing to let go of
Your
whatever
past.
perception you think
Yes.
people
Yes.
have. Like,
Yes.
I
Love that. I love that.
you're not gonna, I mean, this idea that, okay, you're 18, go to college, pick your major, and you're gonna know what you want to do for the rest of your life. Yeah, right. That's just it. Don't be afraid to jump from thing to thing until you find what really
Works
works
for
for
you.
you.
It's also the idea that people are just so stuck within like following the norms of society. You
Yep.
know what I mean? But honestly, like, hello, we're in 20th century. It's the time of technology. It's a time of 21st century thinking skills, of
Yep.
collaboration, of just being authentic and genuine. Don't, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just don't be afraid. There's so many things you can do. Like, there
Think
could be
so.
a content creator on TikTok who's only what they're doing eating but earning millions. You know what I mean? The possibilities are endless. They just turn on the oh, I love those mukbang shows, by the way. I love watching them. I'm like, oh my god, I can't do
you
that
can't
though.
you can't turn away. Like, you get sucked in. I mean, I
Opportunities.
man, watching people eat Taco Bell, like $50 worth of Taco Bell, and you're like, wow,
Hey, they're
that's
earning thousands, and you
yeah,
know what? If they're happy doing that,
yeah,
I salute them.
yes,
And there's,
absolutely.
like I said, any opportunity that you put your mind into it, you can change the stagnancy in your life.
That's it. Amen. Amen, sister. I mean, that's you
I
just have
have
to
so
do it.
many things that I still want to accomplish. I'm already like, I'm not young, but I still want to do a lot, and I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't wait. I'm not afraid. Like I
No,
can't wait to
no.
explore more possibilities for me.
Yeah, and it's because you've allowed yourself, you have given yourself permission to dream and take action.
Yes, yes,
That was the I mean, that's the block. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has something that they want to or they wish that they could accomplish. And most people are stuck because they don't allow themselves to pursue it, or they don't allow themselves to overcome what they think other people will be thinking, so nothing ever changes. And you are the perfect example of somebody who said, "Wait a second. I want these things, and I'm going to do whatever I need to make them happen." And then you just go. I mean,
yes.
it's like you're in a maze and somebody opens the trap door and now you can just run through it, and you're just yeah, and now you're off to the races. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where the
Yes.
finish line is, but it doesn't matter because you're just in there and you're moving around. You're like, go, 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 go. Oh, that feeling, even though it can feel so overwhelming sometimes because we have so many thoughts and our minds are always going a million miles a minute, but just it's it's such a fascinating journey.
Fulfilling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Yes.
whatever you want to call it, it's an amazing feeling. And
It's like adrenaline. It's like,
yep,
and I'm not gonna say that I don't experience bumps along the way. Like
right,
I've submitted. It's hard when you're a new speaker. I've submitted proposals for conventions. I've been getting rejection letter.
yeah,
So you know what I mean. It's not
yep,
easy. Life is, you're gonna meet those things, but I never gave up.
yep,
I never gave up. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I made myself um vi- not visual, visible in social media,
yeah,
because this is my step in order for me to achieve my ultimate goal, which is like
yeah,
to actually speak in on TEDx, or like, conventions, big, what I mean, baby steps. And
yeah.
I'm still getting rejection, but hopefully I'll get there. They'll
You will
see what I've accomplished so far, and maybe
absolutely.
that's not my path. Maybe this is my path.
right?
sometimes you just have to make a detour in your life, and I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Hmm.
for sure. I mean, there's no wrong answer. You know, you and there's no overnight success. I think that's
Yes,
it's so maybe this is
I love that.
cliche, but I just keep reminding myself these people that, you know, they just appear one day and they have a million followers and all these views. That didn't happen overnight. They you go back and you look at their old content, and you're like, eesh. Like I look back at some of my old content, and I'm like, eesh. But that had to happen. Like we needed to learn and grow. So everything that you're putting out there now, these applications for different conferences or conventions, whatever it might be, of course you're going to get the rejection letters, and of course that's going to be fuel to have you keep going. But you have to do that. Like, why? Where did we lose this idea that you don't have to work hard to get what you want? Come on, like that's part of
Yes,
the fun. That's part of like you don't just appear on the top of the mountain. You know, you have to climb to get there, and that's
right.
freaking hard, but so
And
worth it.
And can I blame them? They don't know me yet. I had
That's
nothing
true.
in my there was nothing on my portfolio that shows my speaking engagements. Yes, I've been a speaker all my life as
Right.
a school owner and everything, but this is a different like industry. So
Yeah.
now by doing what I'm doing right now, I'm able to do everything. And I just can I share with you something? I'm actually because I'm doing things on my own, like hard work. You said I'm trying to get organic followers.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I'm on Facebook jail right now.
Oh,
Because I'm trying my best to like do something so
yeah.
that I could get the attraction and stuff like that. But at the same time, you gotta be careful because like I'm in
Mm,
jail right now. Like I can't be
yeah.
on Facebook for 2 days. But it's just something that you learn from. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I could have just paid for sponsored ads
Right.
and gain followers, but I don't want that. I want organic following. I want
Yep.
people who are in the business or who are my age group who will really
Yep.
resonate. Like I don't want like really young kids
Right.
following me because I do have my own um skills that I'm
Yeah.
trying or to convey. So
Yeah.
I'm very mindful of the people who will follow me, so I'm doing it myself, which cost me 2 days of jail.
Yeah, but you know what? In the long run, I mean, that's how you know you're doing it right, in my opinion. When
Yes,
if you get halted or you get told like, oh, you can't comment for a few days or whatever, I mean, that's how you know you're just going for it. And
right,
you know what your brand is. I mean,
right, yes.
you're
I
so, you're so ready to just find the people that you know need to find you.
Yes,
And I mean, yeah, like having those little bumps, it sucks. Like I know you said you have like a live stream coming up and now you can't even promote it on Facebook.
it's
But
on Monday.
again,
I don't know what to do.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, what do I do? But you're gonna figure it out because that's
Yes,
what you
yes,
do. And
that's what
this,
I do.
yeah, and it's just another, you'll be able to take this learning
Setback.
experience and just run with it. Like, wow.
Oh, yeah. So make sure you know your codes for the two-step factor. I'm not joking. That two-step factor because that got me
That's
into like
that's
big
that's the
problem.
that's the biggest takeaway from today.
Yes, know your two-step authenticator code.
I
Please,
don't know.
everybody, if there's one thing you can take from me, know your two-step authenticator codes on Facebook.
Boy, you just gave me some homework because now I'm scared to death because
Oh yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, it's on Google. It was too late for me to find out how to get it. Because
Oh,
I totally forgot. I mean, hello, I set this up like 5, 6, 7 years ago. How will I
yeah.
remember a code?
Right.
All right. So our my intentional excellence podcast is big on resilience and
Yeah.
mindset that we already mentioned. So Maggie, hearing about what you've overcome really is incredible. It's really not easy to push through the kinds of challenges you faced. And I salute you, especially when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. But you've done it and you're thriving. And that story, your story, reminds me of the early part of 2023 when I faced one of the most challenging professional experiences of my life. So I moved to Florida and I applied for leadership positions as assistant principal and district leader after I passed like this series of panel interviews to become in the pool, right?
Right.
But breaking really into a new system was so difficult because no one really knew my track record of my what I was capable of.
Right.
And there was one, so I applied this. early 2023, rejected one after the other, assistant principal. Most of the time, they already know who to put. You know what I
Wow.
mean? They already know how to put. And second, they really don't know me.
Right.
So there's one rejection crushed me. It was my dream position. It was to lead the early childhood department for an entire county. I passed two rigorous panel interviews and thought I nailed it, but I
Yeah.
still didn't get the offer. I really cried because that was my dream job, like my
Yeah.
dream role. And I knew I would change Florida because of my experiences back in New York and Connecticut. I just knew I was perfect for the role.
Right.
So when I didn't get it, I really switched schools to a place where my leadership would be recognized. And there, the new principal supported me. She gave me opportunities and really set me up. And finally, after 2 months, I led the summer school for three schools. And, that experience really rebuilt my confidence and reminded me of my strength. Like in that summer, I was able to organize fire drill. Like it's not a joke when you organize a fire drill. Like you
Right.
don't really know, like those little things. I was speaking in front of like maybe 300 people every day. Like everything went on really smoothly. And I remember one principal, because I was leading three schools, came up to me and really said, and she's a seasoned principal. Candice, you're amazing. Like you're so organized and your communication skills are like really, really great. And that made me feel good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Of
That really
course.
made me feel good. So, okay, I what about you? Like what role did resilience and mindset play in helping you like push through? And maybe what advice would you give to someone who feels like giving up right now?
Yeah. Wow. That's talk about a loaded question. I mean,
Yes, I can
so
break it down. I can repeat it. Sorry if I was too fast.
no, no, it's okay. Let's start with the last part. Let's start with the advice. And I
Okay.
think this is something that I needed to hear a long time ago, and I probably did hear it, but it didn't click, or I was reading it and it didn't click. But the biggest advice that I have for anybody who is struggling right now or wanting to give up, maybe they've started a new venture, or they're just thinking about starting a new venture. The advice that I have is there's always going to be a part of you, likely, that is going to want to give up. And there's always going to be a part of you that is always going to think you're not good enough or you're not going to get to the next level. And that is okay. We have we have gotten to this point in society where for some reason it's now basically like it's normal to think that you just need to have positive thoughts all the time. If there's any negative thoughts, oh my gosh, the world is over, it's coming to an end. And there's just you just have to be 100% on point all the time, and that's just not true. I mean, it's just if you can allow yourself the the space, the permission to have those moments of doubt, and like those negative voices in your head that are probably from a long time ago. These like I've got these voices from childhood that always tell me that I'm not good enough. I've stopped trying to fight them, and instead
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of let it show up. I hear it and then I think, okay, well, what can I do right now to make those go away? What action can I take to get a little bit closer to where I want to be? And instead of looking at it like you need to do everything all at once and you need to achieve everything all at once, just take it one step at a time.
Yes.
And it's okay if you have no idea what the next step is. I mean, I'm very blessed in my real estate journey because I've got an amazing coach and mentor, and she's always answering my questions because I don't know what I don't know. And that's always going to be the case when you're constantly striving for new heights and trying to achieve something new. So, be okay with having those doubts and realizing that it's normal, and just because there's a fleeting thought that you're a failure or you suck doesn't mean that it's true, and also doesn't mean that you're wrong for thinking it.
Right. Right.
Just be able to push through and do one thing to silence or at least quiet that negativity. That's that would be the biggest advice that I have. And I guess I'm telling it to myself as
Yes.
I say it because I have to remind myself that every day. I'm such a perfectionist and I'm such a people pleaser. And I definitely have that mentality, or I did have that mentality that if it wasn't perfect, it shouldn't be done at all. And that, like, perfectionism will hold you back
Yes,
from
yes,
so many things. And it's like,
yes.
nah, what a waste. Like, I'm doing it, it's imperfect, and I don't care.
Same thing. All right. I love what you just said, that perfectionism will either make you or break you,
Yeah,
right? And like, just want to reflect on what you said. Like, I'm a like I speak on a daily basis. I speak, and I English was not really my first language. Like, I'm from the Philippines, and
yep,
there are times wherein I find myself with grammar errors or like pronunciation, which I'll never forget. It's part of my life. Like
yep,
that accent, like the way of pronouncing things, that's already part of me. And I just had to, in the beginning, my first podcast, I kept listening over and over and watching. Oh my god, I said this, that was the wrong pronunciation. But you know what? Nowadays, I don't care.
right,
It's me. I'm
yep,
just simply me. Like, this is the way I speak, this is the way I was raised, and I can't change for the sake of other people.
absolutely.
And this is already how many podcasts that I've done, and I am me, the genuine me, and I don't care. I don't
That's it.
care if like I say something wrong or like mispronounce words.
Doesn't matter.
um, and your perfectionism, I've learned to let go of that. I used to be like that, and
Yeah,
it just gives me, like, I just feel anxious if
yeah,
I wanting to be perfect. Not
yep,
anymore. I've learned to, like before, I turn on this one, I just review the questions that I ask you. I
right,
reflect, what am I going to relate? How am I going to relate my
yeah,
life with this question? So we're more genuine and authentic with our conversation. And
yeah,
here you go,
yeah.
our conversations are just flowing smoothly.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, letting go of the perfectionism and letting go of some of those expectations, because you can have, I mean, expectations, what good do they do
And
if
who
you're just
defines those expectations, really?
exactly. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's us.
Yes,
Expectations are just another form of pressure that we put on
yes, yes.
ourselves to, I think, subconsciously hold ourselves back. There's no reason. I mean, yes, I want you, like, I want everyone to have goals and dreams and visions. That's great. But instead of having the expectations, just focus on the little things that you need to do every day to get there, and that's going to get you there
Yes,
one
yes.
way or the other. I mean, there's just, it's such a, I don't know, it's such a journey. There's no other word for it. I mean, you just need to get comfortable being uncomfortable and just allow the journey to happen because it's so beautiful. And instead
Yes.
of,
I was just gonna say that. Oh my god, you and I are just thinking on the same.
yes,
Woo!
oh, it's,
Enjoy the journey, whatever you're
yeah,
doing. Enjoy the journey. It could
yep.
be, like you said, eating that mukbang.
What?
Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the
Yep,
food. Be mindful. Live
yeah,
in the moment.
yep,
Live in the moment. That's big on my new way of thinking.
yeah,
Being mindful. Mindfulness is one thing that I learned through I'm on a self-care, self-love journey,
yep,
which is never ending. I really Mindfulness matters to me. Meditation
oh yeah,
and positive affirmation,
yep.
manifesting a good life. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely. I mean,
Like, I
there's,
manifest good life.
and you know what, people, I think in general, people, they hear that type of stuff. We talk about meditation or manifestation or just being nice to ourselves, and
Yes.
people overlook that. They really think like, oh no, that can't be the answer. I'm going to try this, or this. And they're doing all these other things, but they're
They're
still,
paying so many things, programs, right?
yeah, yeah, they're spending all this money. They're looking outside of themselves, and
Mm.
please, I mean, you have to believe and understand that life is a mirror, and everything that's going on out in here is going to be reflected out there. I mean, you could do all of these other things, but we're so quick to say, oh no, I can't meditate. Of course you can't. You've never had
Yeah.
a quiet
It's
moment in your entire life. Get ready to learn. Like, it's so, talk about expectations or perfectionism. Like, people, I love meditation, and
Yes.
and at the same time it's really hard for me. It
It
takes
is.
a long time for me to quiet those thoughts, but
Yes.
I just think, like, I imagine, way back to when I first started learning how to quiet my mind and focus on the positive and just being still. I gave up so many times because I just did not think I could do it. But I pushed through that. And most people, they try it, they can't sit still. They're like, oh, my mind is racing. Of course it is. That's the point. That's what we're trying.
Yes.
That's what we need to change. Like, you did not, you weren't born and just started running marathons. Like, you
Yes.
had to take the steps. Meditation is just another one of those. But I don't know where I was going with that. Yes.
No, no,
Whatever.
no. You're right on point. I started with 3 minutes because it was hard.
Yeah.
I literally physically had to hide my phone because
Yep.
every time there's a notification, I would grab it. I'm very like
Yep.
so close to my phone, attached to my phone. So
Yep.
baby steps. Now I can do 20 minutes. It took
Whew.
a while. It took
Yeah.
a while. And I do 3 times a day. I mean, it's not like I'm on schedule. When I feel
Right.
like it, I just
Yep.
like, especially when I'm a little like anxious, like of course
Oh,
I
yeah.
still have that feeling. I just pause and
Yeah.
give my mind like a break, and then everything just starts. You become intuitive into like what is really what you're supposed to do. That's
Yep.
how I view it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, we talked about authenticity too in our conversation. I believe that balancing authenticity and success are one of the things that I kind of admire most about you. And as you like when you shared with me like what you went through and what I shared with the audience about your bio, like I just feel like your journey was so authentic. The way that you shared it wholeheartedly with no, what do you call that? No, you didn't hold back.
Right.
It's just that kind of vulnerability isn't easy, but it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Um, I'm curious to know how has being so honest and open about your struggles and growth impacted your career, your relationships, and even your own sense of success.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think overall, first and foremost, being completely open and honest, vulnerable, I guess you could also say, being so open about where I come from and the person that I am has 100% attracted people into my life that understand that same mentality. The people that have also needed to overcome so many obstacles to get, excuse me, to get where they are. So you put that out there, and I'm just going to always be real. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, sometimes it sounds a little painful, but it's honest. It's who I am, and I don't want to mislead anybody. And I think for the first time ever, so now that I do real estate, and now that I specialize in luxury real estate, I mean, Candace, for me to say that, it still sounds like I'm talking about somebody else's life. I mean, the
Wow.
fact the fact that I could sell multi-million dollar homes when,
Wow.
I grew up uh with the idea that you just
Simple.
rent, you just
Yes.
rent forever and you're just
Wow.
happy with what you have. I mean, that juxtaposition is so mind-blowing to me. But I have found that being 100% myself, I show up and I'm just who I am. And the clients that I work with, especially the ones that are buying and selling multi-million dollar homes, they have so much respect for that because they also had to fight like hell to get where they are.
Yes.
They don't
Yes.
they don't want to be sold some idea of, this fake, phony, salesperson. They want a
Hmm.
real person who is not only going to be completely genuine, but is also going to fight to make sure that the job gets done correctly. And that has been such a, I
Wow.
guess, a breath of fresh air,
Yes.
because I
Yes.
I can't I'm not good at hiding who I am or where I come from. I don't want to hide that. And there's so many people that I meet that they try to give off this specific persona of what they think they should look like,
Hmm.
and you can feel it. I mean, you can
Yes.
just
Hmm.
feel that it's not real,
Real.
it's and I don't want to be around those people. And I don't think those people want to be around me, so it works out really great. Like, let's just go our separate ways.
And not only that, you're placing a family in a forever home.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Or like that's the start of something new for a
Yeah.
family, for a business person who wants to lease a corporate space.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So like the interactions that starts just from the moment that you meet your realtor, it has to be real, it has to be
Yeah.
genuine, because in the long run, if they find like things in the house that you didn't talk about or something like that,
Yeah.
or you're the type of person who's hard to like talk to,
Yep.
then you know it's not going to work out. They're going to complain about you. They're probably going to
Yeah.
give you a negative feedback. But if you're open and genuine, if there are issues
Yep.
along the way, it's easy to navigate around that issue. You know what I mean?
Oh
Because you're
yeah.
easy to speak with and you're genuine and authentic. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
know you can make mistakes and just apologize. You know, right? Right?
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. And it's when you're just an easy person to talk to, and it's very clear that there's just an open line of communication and people feel comfortable, they're going to want to continue to work with you. They're going to refer you
Yes.
to other people and they can feel it. I mean, that really
Yes.
I don't think I ever really believed in that growing up, that there's this idea of energy and we give off certain vibes, but I absolutely believe that now. And you can't fake it. And when you're just being as genuine and authentic as possible, people feel it and they want to be a part of it. And that whole idea of, lighting up a room when you walk into it has
Yes.
nothing to do with anything on the exterior. It is absolutely that vibe.
Coming from you, it's
Yep.
radiating from you.
Yeah.
And I feel that like piggybacking what you said, that energy that you radiate, it's just amazing. Like if one person can feel that warmth that you're radiating, like
Yeah.
I believe in like attraction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You attract, like just
Yeah.
positive attraction.
Yeah. Of
And
course.
sometimes like if let's say I go on like an Uber ride, not I don't do it a lot, but if I do,
Yeah.
I talk to the Uber driver, and you don't know like how much conversation you can get into. It's deep. And
Yeah.
I feel like at that moment, like that person really needed somebody to talk to them. And
Yep.
I just talk to everybody. I mean, you really don't know what people go through.
Right.
And leaving that positive energy that you might have in just a simple conversation, it can it can be powerful.
Yeah.
Energies can be powerful. I believe in that.
Me
Believe in
too.
that.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's all part of the journey. I mean, you talk
Right.
about like your self-love, your self-care journey. That doesn't just happen on accident. It's a muscle that needs to be strengthened just like any other muscle in the body. And
Yes.
and it's going to feel weak at first. It's going to feel awkward and unnatural, of course, because you've never taken the time to work on it before. That's okay. Start
And
now.
it doesn't matter if you're rich, you're poor, you're a woman, you're a man.
Yeah.
Like you can develop self love,
Yep.
how old you are or wherever you're at. Like it's your own self-love.
Yep.
Cultivate your own self-love. There's no book on self-love. It's you
Yep.
make it work for you. You make it work for you. Might be
Yeah.
different for me, and it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah.
So for me, authenticity really has become the cornerstone of my career.
I,
I have multiple roles, like I said, keynote speaker, writer,
yeah.
podcast. I think I want to write about your story eventually. and
Yeah.
no, hey, I've been meeting so many wonderful people. Like who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, right? And I feel that the audience can see right through you if you're not genuine, like as a
Yeah.
speaker. And I realize people want to now. I really feel that people want to learn from real experiences,
Yeah.
and they can see through you if you're fake, like your trials, your defeats, and how you've risen from them. Like
Yeah.
that's what people will resonate with, not their like glorious, like I'm rich, I'm this, I'm like I'm
Right.
on stage. No, no, not everybody will resonate with that. Not
Right.
people will just envy you or like feel that it's impossible to
Yeah.
reach that. They want actual like steps that you went through in order to achieve that success.
Yeah.
um Life is hard, and people really crave guidance and connection. We don't know that. People
Right.
are ashamed to admit, but I feel that everybody at some point in their life will be off track, and kind of lose themselves. And my
Yes.
purpose in this career really is to motivate others by showing them the power of resilience and authenticity. It's that it's okay. It's
Yep.
okay to be you, and I believe that being yourself is the most valuable thing
Yeah.
that you can give to
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, absolutely. And I think along with that is also understanding who you are is perfect, and you got to be willing to change the crappy parts about you that
Yes.
either you know are not great or you've had other people point out. I mean, you have to be
Yes.
honest with yourself. Like, I I love the person that I am and the person that I'm becoming, and I know where my shortcomings are.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can feel, I mean, and that a lot of that is related to trauma. A lot of it is these old these old habits or these old mindsets that I used to have about being in scarcity and
Mm-hmm.
not being lovable and feeling like it's me against the world. Like, these are things that at one point in my life they helped me to survive, and now they no longer serve me. So I could just say, yep, I'm me
Let
and
it
you
go.
can't change me. Yeah, but you have to be willing to, you can love who you are and be working on becoming better at the same time. They can happen hand in hand. It doesn't need to be two separate things. And just all comes down to being honest with yourself about the things that maybe served you at one point in your life but now no longer serve you.
Mm-hmm.
How can we work to use that to be better in
Yes.
whatever way?
And to add to what you said, those are going to be triggers in your life.
Yep.
But if you really are going through that self-care, if you are in this self-care journey, then you know yourself, you know what's going to trigger you.
Yep.
It could be one thing. It can trigger emotions, experiences, moments, make you cry. You
Yep.
already know the triggers because you know yourself more.
Yeah.
So there's a chance for you to either avoid it or meet it
Yep.
head on and work around it, because
Yep.
it's always going to be past is the past, which it can still come through, like, you know what I
Yep.
mean, even if it's your past, it's
Yep.
not always going to be like, back there. It might creep in. So
Yeah.
fight those triggers or
Yeah.
use it to make you better.
Right.
Use those triggers or those moments to just keep being better on what you do. And
Yeah.
I know my triggers. I
Right.
know exactly my triggers are. So it could
Yeah.
be a person. Oh, I could be triggered by a person, by a very toxic person. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
already know how to, like, how to approach that person.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I know I'm gonna get triggered or a situation in my life,
Yeah.
I already know. So I navigate
Yep.
around it or like head on.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's really the best way to look at it. And I also really believe our triggers are, they're our responsibility.
Yes.
It's not
No
anybody
one
else's
else.
job to worry about my triggers. That's some stuff that I need to heal on my own, and if it happens from an external source, it's my job to work through it, get away from it, do whatever I need to do. But I spent so much of my life blaming everybody else and playing the victim and thinking woe is me, and that didn't get me anywhere.
Right.
It doesn't get anybody anywhere. But being able to take full responsibility and accountability for your life, your past, your future, it's so liberating because
Nice.
now, like,
Yes.
you, you've got you. I mean, it's all in here. Like, everything that we want, everything that we want to accomplish, we already know. Like, deep down, we know we're capable of it. So you take out these other people and you stop blaming everybody else, and it's like, all right, it's all on me. That's scary, but it's also super life changing.
Yes. 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 I love that. I love that. I love embracing,
Yep.
your weakness, your whatever, like
Yeah.
your triggers, just
Yep.
embrace them, because it's you. It's still
Yep.
part of you. So you're the only one who can defeat it or
Yeah.
make it work for you. I love that. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about lessons from real estate,
Okay.
especially at that's a luxury level.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's like high pressure world where you're in, because um just, like you're centering on that, that's your focus, although you did
Yeah.
mention that you're still open to others
Yeah.
and you're thriving in it. Okay, so that's big, and I'm just curious how you approach it,
Yeah.
with intentionality and excellence that aligns so well with this podcast.
Yes. The intentional aspect, and this is so I started real estate maybe September of last year. So we're a
Wow.
yeah, I mean it's so crazy to think about how this all played out in such a short time.
Right.
Um but since day one, my intention has been to be a luxury real estate agent and to find and build a clientele that I love and that also loves me and wants to continue to work with me and refer me. But I will say that from day one, I mean, this it's challenging. Like I definitely have moments where I have to really fight this. But when you say it's a high pressure world career,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. But I don't allow myself to look at that.
Okay.
I don't tell myself that it's saturated. I don't ever say that the market is slow or bad or anything like that. I just keep my blinders on, put my head down, and I do the work I know I need to do to build my specific business. Like, I am just I know myself well enough that if I wanted to get on TikTok or Instagram and search for Clearwater luxury real estate agents, I would get so overwhelmed so quickly and start comparing myself to all of these amazing agents who have been doing it for 30 years and they've sold 10 million trillion dollars in real estate. Like that would make me want to quit.
Yeah.
And I have told myself I don't care what anybody else is doing. Yes, I want to learn from them. I mean, of course I want to network. I want to get that mentorship from them, but I'm not comparing myself to them. And that has been such a helpful thought process because otherwise, I mean, people laughed at me. Real estate agents laughed when I got into real estate and I said, "You know what? I want to do luxury." And this one guy, he's also an agent. He's in the Ocala area, and he was like, "Yeah, everybody says that. Everybody says that. You'll see. It's just, it's not worth pursuing." And I was like, "Okay, we'll see." And
Wow.
I think he really meant well. Like I think he was trying to maybe like save me from
Wine you.
being hurt. Yeah, like
Yes.
I think he had a good intention, but at the same time it's like you can't say that. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, like people I hear new real estate agents, they ask me all the time. They're like, "How do you get into luxury? How do you reach out to luxury homeowners?" And my answer is always the same. Call them, show up on their doorstep, send them
Yes.
a letter. Like, you don't need to be joining the country clubs, you don't need to be, a yacht owner. Just show up, reach out to them, be you.
Yes.
And like I was able within my first transaction was a $932,000 deal.
Okay.
And I had no idea what I was doing. But the crazy thing is, the seller also had no idea that I had no idea. Like, I
Oh my
I
gosh.
was yeah, I mean I was in the mindset of I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make this guy happy, to get his home sold, to get him the most money, and that's what I did and that's all I portrayed to him. How can I work the hardest for you to get the outcome that we want? And I mean, and it worked. So and all these people that'll say, "Oh, everybody wants to do luxury. Luxury's oversaturated." Okay, if you say so, that's that's on you. Like, please keep believing that because it's just one less person.
To compete with.
um, but yeah, I mean, so as far as being intentional, I mean, that is such a powerful word, and the intention is just to be better and show myself what I'm capable of doing every single day. And it's so easy to lose focus. It's so easy to get overwhelmed or distracted, and that's okay. Then you pick up and you keep going and you get back to the intention. As long as you
Yes.
come back to it, that's all that matters. And so much more. I mean, most people don't come back to it. They have the original vision, the original goal, they jump into it, they're motivated, and then of course the motivation falls off and then they fall off and then they just never come back to it. If you just continually remind yourself to come back to the intention that you set, you're going to do amazing things and you're likely going to, eventually, maybe not right away, but eventually you're just going to soar so much higher than all these other people that are in the same field, not because you are trying to, you know, not because you're intentionally trying to compete, but just because you're
Yes.
intentionally trying to be better for yourself. That's it.
Yes. And not only that, I feel like it has something to do also with your emotional intelligence. You just
Yeah.
know how to deal with people. I don't think you have a certain personality for this set of people, this
Yeah.
set of people. No, like it's you. I
Yep.
think you will couldn't have a conversation or with what like all walks of life, it's you.
Yeah.
Same thing as when I speak to everybody. I don't just choose my because you don't know who will resonate with what I'm
Right.
talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
Although the age level, of course, I have to trim it, but at the
Yep.
same time, you are who you are, and I don't think you have a different way of presenting yourself just
Right.
because they're buying luxury homes.
Right.
So it works both ways. If you're dealing with this set of family which is simple versus the family that's really really like high end,
Yeah.
you are who you are. They're
Yeah.
purchasing from you because of the way you showed up
Yeah.
and you presented yourself. And yeah, you can be yourself by doing both. I believe in
Yeah.
that. And if
Absolutely.
you have a crappy personality, you can't sell to any of any of those sets of people. I
Nope.
believe in that.
It'll always, I think that will always expose itself. I mean,
Yes.
yes, real estate is sales. You have to understand the sales aspect of it and being able to sell your brand, your personality, and also learn how to sell houses.
Yes.
But it is closely followed with, if not tied with, being a people person. And if you are not a people person, and I've seen it, I mean, I've seen agents that, I mean, yes, maybe they could fake it to a certain point, but I've heard horror stories about people that have worked with real estate agents, had a terrible experience, would never use that agent again because
Yes.
they all they cared
Rude.
about
It
was
could
their
be rude,
commission.
impatient. Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't put the client first. And if you are so obsessed with your commission that that is what guides you, everybody can see that. They
Yeah.
can feel it and maybe they're already roped into it and they don't have a choice, but they'll never work with you again.
Yes.
And it's like, as long as I know what I'm bringing to the table and how I'm showing up for my clients, then that's all that I care about. And I've learned a lot from seeing other agents and their pitfalls, the shortcomings that they had. I've taken all of that and also learned from it, which is
Yes.
so
Yes.
helpful.
I think the nice thing is because you're just a lifelong learner. Like you
Yeah.
did admit that in the beginning, you didn't know what you were doing, but then you learned from it. Like if you
Yeah.
literally have to open a book or go Google on YouTube, like exactly what to do, then do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You just have to learn. You can't say, "Oh, I don't know this," and then just move on. No,
Right.
um, learn the skill.
Oh yeah.
Everything is out there for you, and of course, that people, the personality. You just have to have a good personality as well. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That
Absolutely.
that matters a lot, and that authenticity and genuine
Yeah.
people. And I think whatever career, if you are not real, people see
Yeah.
through it. You know.
Yeah. It can only get you so far. And
Yes.
and I will say, I mean, I'm so blessed to be where I am now, where I have a team. I mean, I've got an assistant, I have a transaction coordinator, I have an amazing coach, all of these amazing people that they don't work for me, they work with me.
Yes.
And they
I like that.
allow.
With me. I like
Yeah.
that. With
I mean,
me.
like to me, and the army taught me that too. Like that's a true, that's how you know what a leader is. They're not out in front telling you what to do. They're right there in the trenches with you, working with you. That's leadership. That's what I want to be.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and like I have these people in my life now that not only help me, but they help my clients. And I want to make sure that when I'm working with somebody, whether you're buying or selling or both, that yes, I'm giving you 100% my undivided attention, but you've also got a team of people who are going to make sure everything is perfect from contract to close and beyond. And like I have no shame in saying that I will hire as many people as I need to help make me better because
Yes.
my clients deserve it. Like we this should not be a one man show. And some people try to do it and some people do and most people don't. They try, but um yeah, being able to have all of these amazing people that work with me to make the transaction and make the experience better for my clients, I'm so blessed. I can't even,
Aw.
my heart just bursts when I think
Aw.
about these
I'm
people.
so happy for you. That's why, like I said, I have this live show about love, right?
Yep,
One third of it talks about uplifting others
yep,
because you don't know the power of uplifting others. And you're not a leader if you don't know how to inspire your
yep,
team. That's not being a leader. You can't be like working, they can't be working for you, like what you said. They should need to be working with you.
yep,
You uplift each other.
yep,
I believe in that. A leader, you're a good leader. A great leader is somebody who will inspire,
yep.
empower others to become better.
Oh
If
yeah,
they're become better than you in 5 years, then you know what? You did your role
that's a
as a
good thing.
leader,
Yeah, you
right?
should be proud of that. Yes,
And don't think of it as
absolutely.
a threat. Don't think of it as a threat. And I believe in delegation. If you're a leader,
Yes,
you need to delegate so that they are learning in the process.
yep,
You know what I mean? And it also helps because at least you're not doing all the work. You know what I mean?
yep.
I believe in that. I
Oh
love
yeah.
that. Ricky. Love that. All right. So this is one question that I ask everybody. I
Mhm.
hate to end this, but this is my last question. So your story is so inspiring, and I know our listeners are going to take away so much from what you shared. But before you wrap up, I'd love for you to leave them with a concept, a quote, or a topic that will just you empower them. Like, if they think of this podcast, they're gonna be like, oh, she said this. Like,
Yes.
what would you leave to the audience, with the audience?
Um, wow. Am I
He
allowed
said
to
a lot of good things, but
am I allowed to curse?
I think so.
Okay.
I
I'm
don't end it though. Yeah,
okay, let's just try it. So this is a
yeah.
quote. Okay, so this has been really heavy on my mind
But this could
recently.
be the first time. Go for it. Go for it.
There's always a first. Yes, let's another first. So there is a quote that a drill sergeant said to me when I was in basic training, and I believe he said it because he could see potential in me that I could not see in myself. He knew that I was destined to be some type of leader. I mean, you could just I don't, maybe somewhere deep down I knew it, but I didn't feel like I knew it, but he knew it. And he said to me, it's easy to shine when you're standing on a pile of shit.
Oh, yes. That's not bad. That's not bad.
And he said that and
Yes.
at the time
Yes.
so I was talking with him and all of my other fellow soldiers they were there. I mean he was I knew that he was telling me that if I just kept my head down and kept doing what I was doing I would be able to get to the top or to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. And at the time it was kind of meaningful, but now years later, especially after going through so many different career changes and seeing how little effort most people are putting in, that I think that is my biggest takeaway. Like, no matter what field you're in, or career
Mhm.
path, or journey you're on, there's always going to be a million other people trying to do the same exact thing. That doesn't mean that they're good at it. That doesn't
Mhm.
mean that they are actively trying to be better every day. So if you jump into something and you're brand new, you're trying to figure it all out, most people, unfortunately, suck. Like
Yeah,
they, everybody wants to think that they're above average, but that can't be true.
right.
There has to be average and below average people, and chances are a lot of the people in your field or whatever it is that you're doing are average or below average. So if you just stay the course, keep your head down, and do what you need to do, you're going to rise above by leaps
Yes.
and bounds. And I've been telling myself that every day because it's so easy to get lost and to start comparing, and that's, yeah, that's my takeaway, because that's just,
Yes.
I'm thinking about it
That's
all the
you.
time. So
Not only that, okay, I have to reflect on that. Like me being a speaker, if I try to look at all the speakers, because I'm part of a bureau, a speakers
yeah,
bureau, so I get to see how like each and every speaker, how they speak or what they've accomplished. If I'm gonna look at all of their video reels, I'm gonna be anxious. I'm like, oh my god, they're so good. You know what I mean?
right,
But it's who you are, your uniqueness, your
yeah,
unique personality will always shine through. I don't want to be. Now I realize that there's only going to be one Candace. I can
yep,
never copy anyone. You know what I
yep,
mean? And I think this is what people will look for. Just
yeah,
me. Just me. It could be a simple topic that I'm talking about, not like an AI topic. But if I am genuine, authentic, and really talk about that lesson and really, share it with people, I think that's all you need. Just be you.
yeah,
Just be you.
absolutely.
Never
And those
compete with
people,
anyone.
yeah, of course. And like you said, I mean, getting lost down the rabbit hole of looking at other people's social media, in reality, that's only a handful of people. I mean,
Yes.
yes, the speaking world is absolutely oversaturated, but most people aren't doing anything. They're not, you've got a handful of people that are way up here, and most people are just falling off. So it's like, you can absolutely be one of those people. You just have to be willing to fight through
Yes.
it. And you
Yes.
just got to keep shining. I mean, just bringing who you are to the table, learning every single day. Like, that's what you embody. That's what you are doing every single day, Candace. And if people can't learn from that, then there's no hope.
And to be honest, like if I'm not on stage like that, which I will be, I'm just saying that's not my only path. Like that's
Right.
not the only path. Like if you're only stuck like what you said, just luxury homes, luxury. No, you have to be open to like
Yep.
all avenue. But that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now because I found my strength
Yep.
in other venue, not just the
Yes.
corporate, not just the convention. No, I love what I'm doing. I really love what I'm doing right now. So I've learned to just this is what I'm good at. This is what I want to be, and
Yeah.
I think I'm making more of an impact because of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So just being open,
Yep.
being open and flexible with your life. I think is also to add to what you said. Don't be have that fixed mindset, or
Nope.
else you'll never grow. You know.
Yeah, you can. Just have fun with it. I mean, wow, it's so much fun. When you start to look at it like it's fun, it gets a lot more fun.
Yes, right? All right. Oh no, 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 no. Do you have before we end, do you have first of all, I want to thank you so much for being here today and for like sharing your story with such openness and honesty. Do you have any like parting words or how will the audience viewers find you?
Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll have to put it like in the show notes, because I always get
Yeah. So
my
when I
Instagram.
share this, I'll ask for all your links so that they can actually
Yes.
go on your Instagram or all your social media. Like
Yeah, yeah.
when I share it, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
But you
I'm
can say it
definitely.
now, so you know.
Yeah, I've got, so I'm on Facebook. I've got a personal page. I do have a business page that I'm actively working on growing. And that's, Maggie Ciechoski, your luxury realtor or whatever. And then on Instagram, I believe my username is your luxury Gulf Coast agent,
Okay.
something around there. But yeah, I mean, I'm very easy to get in touch with, and I do want to stress this: if there is anybody that's listening that's local to the Tampa Clearwater area, or they're thinking about moving to the Tampa Clearwater area, um, I do not bring any pressure to the table. I want to be able to answer questions and make sure that you find the best agent to work with. If it's not me, I completely understand that. But I want to make sure that for people that have questions or are just kind of lost, they don't know where to start, maybe they had a terrible experience with an agent in the past, please let me help bring that clarity, and that's without the expectation of us needing to work together. I mean, you deserve to have an agent that works for you and that it feels like it's that perfect connection. And yes, I hope that it's me, but if it's not, let me help you find the right person. Because I think a lot of people are afraid to reach out to real estate agents and they're afraid to ask questions because they think that they're going to get spammed with all of
Yes.
these notifications and follow-ups, and that's not how I work. I don't see the value in that. I just want to be able to provide clarity anywhere that I can. So if there are any questions or if there's any overwhelm or confusion or whatever the case might be, I would love to chat and just be able to bring that clarity for sure.
And I know that the viewers now know a lot about Maggie. She's one authentic person, easy to speak with, and a lot to bring to the table. Very knowledgeable, and just really, well, she'll speak with you. I mean, this is my first time meeting her, but look, it's we're already an hour 30 minutes, and I would love to speak with her more. So, and I'm sure you'll have the same experience with her. I
Thank
could
you.
sense a genuine and authentic person when I meet one, and I'm so proud. I'm so happy to have met you.
I know, same. Thank you so much, Candace. This has been an honor. And you know what? I just have a feeling that this isn't the last time that our paths are going to
Yes.
cross.
Yes. Well, I'm open for, like you. I also like meeting like-minded people for
Yeah,
coffee or like just collaborating.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you. All
thank
right. So I think
you.
your journey is so powerful and it's really exemplifies intentional excellence. I just want to say thank you, and
Thank
I will
you.
I will make sure to put all the links in when I share this.
Okay.
And thank you again. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Intentional Excellence. If you'd like to connect with me, my website is www.candiceruggiero.com. I speak at conventions, conferences, workshop, and professional development. I also speak on authenticity, leadership, intentionality, teacher empowerment, and burnout. My social media is linktree/Candice Ruggiero. And I just want to say, remember, no matter where you start, with intention and perseverance, you can create an excellent life. Thank you, Maggie, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Candace.